Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Officer for the Morris County government. Focus on Morris County is a program that's designed to keep us up to date on the actions that are being taken by the Morris County Board of Freeholders. And the show is also intended to make us all more aware of the many facets of Morris County government. Now, on this segment of the program, we are going to visit with Morris County Freeholder Ann Grossi. Freeholder Grossi is completing her first term as a freeholder, and in 2014, she'll be moving from the 5th floor of the administration building in Morristown down to the 1st floor, where she will assume the position of Morris County Clerk. Freeholder Grossi will be replacing Joan Bramhall, who decided not to run for re-election in 2013. Freeholder, County Clerk, welcome to the program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for asking me. I'm very excited.
And I want to start in the present first of all, and then kind of work backwards. Why did you decide to run for County Clerk and leave, not seek re-election for Freeholder?
Well, I have to say I really loved being a freeholder. I enjoyed it immensely. I learned a lot on the board, and but I always was interested in the county clerk's position. Joan had been there. I didn't anticipate her leaving that soon because I certainly would have run. I would have liked to have had another term as freeholder. And actually, when her term was up at the same time my freeholder term was up, and all of the incumbents had met and we were all going to run together, and Joan was part of that initial meeting. And then all of a sudden she just decided it was time to move on. And it was a situation where if I didn't do it now, I would never have had the opportunity again to do it. It's a 5-year term, and people usually stay in there for more than one term. And I couldn't envision myself doing that 5, 10, or 15 years from now.
Yeah, and I believe Joan was served 3 terms, I believe, as the county clerk. Okay, so now let's start to go backwards a little bit. You're on the Freeholder Board for 3 years. You've had some very interesting assignments or liaisons, one being the Department of Planning and Development. And in particular, a couple of years ago when the Freeholder Board decided to implement a flood mitigation program that's administered by the Department of Planning and Development. What can you tell us about this program, how it came about, and maybe some of the successes that it's had to date?
Well, it came about actually from the storms that we had, where Morris County, I think for the first time, all over the county, almost every town was affected by flooding, especially the towns that were bordered by our rivers. And it was such a devastating to Morris County economy, to the towns that had to provide services, and obviously devastating to the people who owned homes in those areas that had never even experienced flooding before. And there was an urgency for us to do something to help the homeowners and help the towns. And so we thought, with the money that we have in the Open Space Fund, that we should really consider moving towards a flood mitigation program, putting a program together. And the Freeholder Board at the time wholly supported that. And then we moved forward with actually planning it, because there wasn't a boilerplate on how to do it. And the Jennifer McCullough, who actually basically wrote the plan, the planning department, planning and development, went to work on it right away, and they put together a fabulous plan, and we funded it and implemented it. And so, and we've had almost every town that has a flooding problem or had been flooded has benefited by it. In fact, I think we had originally set aside $16 million for the plan, and we're at over $15 million now has been spent in purchasing homes and trying to restore those areas back to their natural, so they could be be flood gates, basically, for the rest of the community.
Now, the money goes to the towns. The county's not purchasing the property.
No.
The money goes to the towns, and then the towns purchase the property, demolish the
Right.
homes, and return the land to its natural
Right.
state.
It's
I
a
guess.
completely voluntary program,
Yeah.
too. No one is forced to sell their property, and it's a bottoms-up program. So what that means is that the town has to go out there and find the residents who would be interested in a buyout, and then the plan gets sent up to the county.
Now, you said when the county came up with this plan, there was no template to use. Is the county's plan now being used as a template by other
The
counties?
county's plan is being used by everyone as a template throughout the country, not just in Morris County. It was the first, and actually the governor came out with a support for the plan, and we were the first county to really, we had already started it before he announced his support for this kind of plans to be implemented. And so we're very proud of what Morris County has achieved.
Now, you were also, as a freeholder, you also served on the Freeholder Budget Subcommittee. You chaired that subcommittee in 2012. When you came on the board and in your 3 years as a freeholder, what always were your goals when it came time to put a county budget together?
Well, previous to being a freeholder, I was on the Township of Parsippany's Council for 5 years. And it has always been my goal from the time I first was elected to provide the best services possible with the most efficiencies that we could to keep taxes down, because taxes are a major problem. And, you know, when you get elected, you still have to pay taxes yourself. So that was always my goal, to provide services and do it as economically as possible. So that was the idea that I had working on the budget subcommittee, and I was really amazed at how well the budget subcommittee operated. Not surprised though, because the county is a very well run county, but the dedication and commitment towards doing things efficiently and effectively and looking for ways to implement cost savings. For instance, there was a hiring freeze on already, and while that didn't mean that we never hired anybody, because obviously there are certain positions where people leave, you have to fill them to continue to provide services. So we did hire in that regard. But if there was a consolidation of, if we could consolidate individual jobs, we would do that, so that we would eliminate excess, excess in human resources. But the thing and so my goal was always to come to a 0%. And the first year, what I'm most proud of is that for the 2 years that I was on there, there were a lot of changes. There were changes in the health care benefits, where the employees now had to pay in for their health care benefits, but you don't see the results of that till down the line. And with the stewardship that we had for those 2 years, we were able to come to a 0% in the third year. Although I wasn't on the budget subcommittee that year, but a combination of things that were happening during those 2 years and setting the goal to bring it to a 0% really contributed to the ability for us to have a 0% this year, which I think is a big achievement. We've been able to maintain all of the services at the same level of quality that has always been provided. And, we've been hit with a lot of additional things like the storms. So.
Yeah. Now, one of the other areas that you've been involved with is transportation. In fact, you serve on the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority.
Yes.
What role does that agency play in transportation in Morris County?
Yeah, well, I think people would be amazed. All of the federal money for transportation comes through the New Jersey Transportation Planning Authority, and that's that planning authority. There are other planning authorities throughout the country, but the North Jersey one obviously deals with the North Jersey corridor, and and it gives us a seat at the table as to how the money is going to be spent and what programs there are available. So that's how it benefits Morris County. Although, because of I'm going to go back to the horrific storms that we've had, most of the concentration has been on rehabilitating those areas that really need to be taken care of.
Yeah. Let's start to talk about your new position now as Morris County Clerk. What are some of your goals for that position?
The biggest goal I have is to try, well, there's actually two.
Okay.
One is I want to upgrade the technology and make it one of the most technologically advanced county clerk's office in the state. And I want to also expand the language that we use on the internet, so that if you don't really speak English well, you can see what the county clerk, what is offered in the clerk's office by pressing a button and changing the whole page into the language that you need it to be in. Because Morris County is a evolving county. It's a changing community. I want to be able to really service all of the people in Morris County with that. I'm also interested in making Morris County's clerk's office part of the economic engine to attract business. I was also involved in the Economic Development Corp, and one of the big things is attracting business and retention of business. And we're really looking to attract all kinds of businesses, but obviously we deal in a global economy now. And so we want to make sure that the clerk's office provides a service to the employees that global companies will be looking for. And so that is one of my goals. And of course, enhancing technology should bring reduced costs. And my other goal is to increase the revenue that the county clerk's office generates. As you know, it's probably one of the only departments that actually generates revenue for the county. It generated over $36 million last year, and so it pays for its own costs, and it adds to the easing of the tax burden. With the downturn in the economy, of course, it's generated less.
Yeah.
But I believe with enhanced technology, bringing services out to the various parts of the county rather than expecting people to come to us, and by using the exploration of using kiosks in marketable areas should enhance the services and should help to bring better revenue into the county.
Well, Ann Grossi, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. I want to wish you best of luck in your new position as Morris County Clerk. And it's been a pleasure working with you as a freeholder, and I'm sure we'll continue to work together once you become the county clerk.
Well, I mean, it's been my pleasure to work with you too, and to work with everybody. I'm looking forward to working with the Freeholder Board and with their support to be able to bring some of those goals to fruition.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, if you have a question about county government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office at 973-285-6010. Also visit our website, morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, sign up for the county's electronic newsletter. And also, you can take advantage of the various social networking sites that Morris County government has to offer. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you for being with us, but don't go away, because we'll be right back.
Are you pregnant, scared, or a new mother who can't care for your newborn?
There's a safe haven in New Jersey.
You or a friend can bring an infant to any hospital or police station and give up custody safely, legally, and anonymously.
No questions asked, no shame, no blame, no names.
Call 1-877-839-2339 or visit njsafehaven.org to learn more. Remember,
New Jersey has a safe haven for unwanted infants.
Brought to you by the New Jersey Department of Children and Families.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and on this segment of the program, we are going to talk recycling, and we're going to provide you with some updated good news about recycling here in Morris County. And here to do that is my guest. She is Penny Jones. Penny is Recycling Education Specialist with the Morris County Municipal Utilities Authority. Penny, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe.
let me ask you about the Municipal Utilities Authority and the role that it plays in recycling here in Morris County. What exactly is its function when it comes to recycling?
Oh my goodness, we do all sorts of things. Well, we oversee, coordinate, advise, work with all 39 municipalities. We host quarterly recycling meetings with the recycling coordinators from the municipalities. We also provide curbside recycling collection to 15 municipalities. They participate in our single stream, all-in-one recycling program. And the recyclables from those municipalities go to Community Recycling in Mine Hill, with whom we have a public-private partnership. And also, our curbside people go to some municipalities to collect the recyclables that are at their recycling centers, and then they transport them to Community Recycling. So those are just a few of the things that we do.
Now, Community Recycling in Mine Hill, they have a facility there where all the recyclables go and what, are separated?
Yes, it's a processing
okay.
facility. They used to be known as FCR. They collected only bottles and cans.
Okay.
But now single stream recycling, they process the material.
Okay, and we're going to talk about single stream recycling in just a couple of minutes, but I mentioned that there is some good news in terms of recycling here in Morris County, and that is that recycling in the county is on the increase. Penny, how much of an increase are we talking about, and where do these figures come from?
Okay, well, in 2006, our recycling rate was 36%. And in 2011, the last year for which we have numbers, it was 47%. So that's an increase of 11%. And the way that the numbers are calculated is that every year each municipality is to submit a report to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection in which it documents how much material it has recycled. And then the DEP compares those figures to the amount of garbage that has been generated and comes up with a percentage. So we're doing quite well because the statewide goal is 50%, though I'm not speaking for the MUA now, I'm speaking for myself. I hope that we can exceed that goal. No reason not to.
Well, we're at 46 already, you said?
47%.
47, okay.
47% in 2011.
Yes.
Because the figures, we don't have the figures for 2012 yet.
Now, does the MUA attribute the increase to anything in particular, or a combination of things, more education? What do you think?
Well, we think probably heightened awareness because of increased efforts with outreach, education, enforcement. Our municipal coordinators are doing a better job of acquiring the data that they need to put into their reports. And also garbage generation, because of the economic recession, has gone down somewhat, so we have to keep that in mind also.
Now, Penny Jones, you mentioned single stream recycling, and about 2 years ago, Morris County MUA introduced single stream recycling to the 15 communities that have contracts with the MUA for curbside collection. Is that true? So
yes.
What is exactly single stream recycling? What does that mean?
Well, I have a prop here. Now, I don't know if the camera will see this, but at any rate, here is a wastebasket that is full of what are single stream recyclables. Only a few examples. And Joe, just so you know, there are other municipalities that also have single stream recycling, but they're not part of our program.
Okay.
But basically it means that all the acceptable recyclable materials can be put into the same container, can be mixed together, whereas in the past, for the most part, bottles and cans were in one container and paper was in another, or corrugated cardboard might be bundled, that sort of thing. So single stream, and what's critical is to say single stream recycling. This does not mean that one should be throwing all sorts of other material in with the recyclables.
It wasn't that long ago either that in terms of the bottles, you even had to separate the colored bottles, brown ones and green ones, from the clear ones.
That's right.
So this is how far we've come.
Yes, we have. That was in the olden days.
Okay, so now these are all items that can go. We have magazines, we have newspapers, we have cardboard. These can be a problem, correct? A lot of folks use the single use water bottles and then just toss them away, and that's not very good.
Well, you know,
Unless
tap
you
water
reuse
is
them.
perfectly accessible, but as long as we want them to recycle these, and we want them to throw the cap. We want them to make sure that these bottles are empty. They throw the caps or lids into the trash, and I want to show you this bottle.
Yes.
You notice it has quite a bit of water in it.
Right.
And it also has the cap back on it. When this goes to a facility like Reed Community, it's going to go along a sorting line, and there's some machinery that's going to sense this, and it senses it as being something other than a plastic bottle because of its weight. This will end up in the garbage. So the well-meaning person who said, oh, good, I'm putting this into a recycling bin, did not realize that the bottle should be empty,
Okay.
cap or lid in the trash.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, what should we not put in together with the items that are acceptable for single stream?
Primary example right here is a plastic bag. Plastics wreak havoc, plastic film bags, I should say, wreak havoc with the recycling processing equipment. So it's that they are a no-no. There's one exception in our curbside program. They may be used, clear or translucent bags may be used for shredded paper, but they must be tied shut. Only in the MUA program. And something else that's a real problem, Joe, is that occasionally people will get maybe free newspapers
Right.
and bags like this,
Right.
and they toss the whole thing into the recycling bin, and hence we have, again, more plastic. So the newspaper is perfectly acceptable. These, however, cannot be recycled through the municipal curbside programs or in their roll-offs at their depots, but people can take them back to supermarkets where most supermarkets have bins where these can be put, and then they will be recycled. But
Okay.
not they shouldn't go into the curbside bin or at the municipal depot.
Okay.
Okay.
And by the way, we mentioned to you that at the end of this segment, we'll give you the address for the Municipal Utilities Authority website, and all of this information is on the website, which I believe is mcmua.com. But we'll give that to you again at the end of the program because I know this is an awful lot to absorb. Now, one thing that our viewers should know is that the MUA was recently honored by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection with an award. What can you tell us about the award? What program was recognized?
Well, I'll answer that question, but there's something I forgot to say earlier, so I do want
Okay.
to mention this. And that is that Morris County, by the way, was had the third highest recycling rate in 2011. We were preceded only by Cumberland and Gloucester counties.
So the third highest of all the 21 counties in New Jersey. Okay.
Yes, yes, and so that means we were even higher than other northern counties and our neighboring counties. So we're very pleased with the fact that that's happening,
Sure.
and we want the progress to continue. Now, the award that was given recently was an award. It was in the education category, and it was for the 25 recycling awards dinners that the MUA has hosted since 1988.
And the MUA is hosting another awards dinner, I believe, in April of 2014. Is that correct?
April, yes. Oh gosh, is it April 14th, April 11th,
April 14th.
April 14th.
Friday, April 14th.
Thank you.
And where is it going to be?
Okay, it will be at the Hanover Manor in East Hanover, and it will begin at 7:30 in the evening. And the theme this year is highly caffeinated recycling.
Okay. And again, that information also is on the MUA's website. Any particular projects? I know one of the things at the dinner is that the MUA recognizes individuals, businesses, organizations for their efforts in recycling, reuse, waste reduction. Any project or two over the years that stand out that you would like to tell us about?
Well, there are so many, but I love to give publicity to the Morris Habitat for Humanity Restore, because they are accepting materials that can be reused that otherwise might go to landfills, and they are earning money that can then be used to build Habitat for Humanity homes. So that's a wonderful project, but all the projects are great. However, I must mention that in 1999, Gary Anderson, who created the recycling symbol that is on this container, was an award recipient, as was Willie Cole, who's a local artist who has art on exhibit in major museums in this country and elsewhere. And they were there in 1999, and they were back with us this year in 2013, and to have two people who have contributed so much, one from here and one from elsewhere, but one whose symbol is absolutely iconic. Very, very exciting.
Yeah. And also, I know over the years you've honored groups, organizations ranging from Girl Scouts and Brownies and to high school students to various individuals who have made a contribution. So if you have any ideas for recycling, reusing, reducing waste, you could probably forward them on to Penny Jones, I assume, correct?
Yes, that would be wonderful. Yes.
Right.
And also,
we talk about things that are recycled and what happens with the end product of these items. And here's an example.
Well, thank you, Joe. Yes, and this bag is made of 99% recycled material. It is made from #1 PET plastic, which is what this water bottle is made from. And the carabiner on it, that's made of metal, is, I believe, 100% recycled aluminum. And so I want our audience to know that their recycling efforts really do evolve they materialize into something that's very practical and very wonderful.
And when Penny held up that water bottle, she did mention that it was a specific kind of plastic that is acceptable for recycling. And again, that kind of information is available on the Municipal Utilities Authority website. And I'm going to give you the contact information right now. First of all, the website address is mcmua.com. If you would like to reach out to Penny Jones, our recycling education specialist, you can do so at 973-285-8395. You can email the MUA at info@mcmua.com. And you can also follow the Municipal Utilities Authority on Twitter, twitter.com/mcmua. Penny Jones, thank you very much for being with us today.
You are very welcome, Joe. Thank you.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders office at 973-285-6010. Visit the county government's website as well. That's morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, why don't you sign up for the county's electronic newsletter? And you can also take advantage of the many social networking sites that Morris County has. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, view past programs on YouTube, check out photos from various county government events on Flickr, and browse through county government documents on Scribd. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week at this time, won't you, for another edition of Focus on Morris County.